finding happiness, old patterns repeating, knowing when to let go and release, nourishment, taking action. I want to go based on the themes that came through in the cards. Finding your happiness, finding your joy, old patterns, old beliefs, old stories showing up, knowing when to release and when to let go, nourishment, self-care, and taking action. This is just practice, right? They want you to understand that this is practice. The energy that is showing up with the full moon is giving you an opportunity to practice flexing your muscle of listening, attuning, prioritizing, and honoring your needs and your energy. The energy is gearing up. It is beginning to move. It is beginning to expand collectively and therefore individually, or you could say individually and therefore collectively. There is no difference. And so as the energy is expanding, as the energy is growing, you will continue to be given opportunities to practice strengthening your ability to honor, hold, support, meet, validate your needs and your energy. Because the more that you are able to do this, right, when we're thinking about finding that joy, moving through patterns, taking action, nourishing yourself, right? All of those really important pieces that they were just saying there. When you're doing this for yourself, you're not just doing it individually, you are doing it for the collective. And this is where we can think sometimes that we should feel guilty for honoring our needs, that we should feel guilty for taking time for ourselves, that we should feel guilty for putting ourselves first, that we should feel guilty doing something for ourselves. But the truth is, when you do that for yourself, you're doing it for everyone. Because when you support your energy, when you hold yourself when you need to hold yourself, when you do something for yourself when it needs to be done, when you listen to yourself, when you connect with yourself, all of these beautiful things, when you are doing that, you are shifting the energetic patterns within yourself so that you are resonating on a different frequency, and others in your life get to feel that frequency. And so one of the biggest themes that is showing up with this full moon is nourishment, self-care. And there can be a lot of ideas of what self-care is. You know, it's this trendy thing that we do. Well, actually, no, it's caring for yourself. And it can be done in such small ways. It doesn't have to be this grand experience. And the first way that you understand how to nourish yourself is you slow down and you ask, what do I need today? What do I need? What can I do for myself today to feel nourished? Maybe that looks like sitting with yourself and validating any emotions that are showing up. Maybe that looks like going to a forest and hugging a tree. Maybe that looks like having a nice long bath and releasing energy out. Maybe that looks like spending time with a loved one and laughing until your stomach hurts. Only you know what you need. But nourishing yourself. And remembering that when you do nourish yourself, others get to receive that nourishment also, because it changes the vibration of your energy so that you are then emitting that energy into your life. Guilt is really just an old pattern. So if you feel guilty for doing something for yourself, check yourself. Where does that come from? Whose story is that? Whose voice is that? Is it yours? Often guilt is something that is passed down, right? It's not yours to hold. And so really check yourself when that guilt shows up in whatever way, shape, form. It is a tar, it is a sticky residue that sits on us, holds us back, restricts us from our highest expression. Guilt can also be viewed as a way of feeling in control. Because when we can guilt ourselves, we can feel more in control of what might be happening around us, outside of us, to others, because we can't really control that. And so when that guilt shows up, check yourself. And this is very much in line with the old stories, the old patterns, the old beliefs. They're not yours to hold, and they didn't start with you. Often these stories, these patterns are cyclical, they're generational. And so what are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to release? That was never yours to hold on to begin with. We're going to continue to feel a culmination of energy up until the end of this new year, or I guess year, right? Until the new year. We're going to feel a culmination of energy of big things that are showing up that are not ours to hold anymore, that are ready to be released and let go of. And it's going to be up to you to figure out, what do I need to do? Not just in my life, externally, but what do I need to do internally to feel safe to let go? Chopping the wood, doing the daily things, the daily tasks that allow you to feel safer, more supported, more regulated in the bigness of this energy. Right? Spirit just talked to us yesterday about the things that we need to be doing to support ourselves through this energy. One of those daily tasks is making sure you are receiving support. This is big energy, but big energy creates change. It's that catalyst energy that we have been talking about. And so, what are the things that you need to be doing every day to keep the fire burning? Think about chopping wood. When we chop wood, we prepare ourselves. We are proactive, in a sense, to keep the fire going. What do you need to be doing? What wood do you need to be chopping to keep your fire going? To keep your fire burning, to keep your fire lit when it might feel really windy and chaotic outside of you.